Hey Craig, I thought that was an interesting point you made about the Infancy Doctrine as it pertains to the baptism and subsequent disfellowshipping of children within the Jehovah's Witness organization. I thought I'd take it a little further. I think, it's my opinion, that in most jurisdictions in the United States, if Jehovah's Witnesses were regarded as a business rather than as a religion, which of course gives it protected status under the Constitution, the baptism and disfellowshipping arrangement would be deemed as an unconscionable and fraudulent adhesion contract, excuse me, and would be voided by most courts. For anyone who doesn't know, an adhesion contract is a contract that's written up entirely by one party and is presented to another party to be signed as is. The receiving party has no authority to negotiate the terms of the contract. They either accept it as is or reject it. There's no in-between. In most jurisdictions, if an adhesion contract is considered to overwhelmingly advantage the party that wrote it up, it can be considered unconscionable and voided by the court. Even worse than that, if the court deems that the authoring party intentionally misled the receiving party about some of the terms of the contract, it can be considered a fraudulent contract, and of course also voided. I think the fact that most Jehovah's Witnesses, whether they are baptized as adults or children, don't know that you can be disfellowshipped for simply disagreeing with something the Watchtower says. You don't have to go around teaching people that the Watchtower is wrong. You don't have to start your own religion. All you have to do is express to someone in a private conversation you think the Watchtower is wrong about something, and you can be disfellowshipped for that. I was a witness all my life, up until my early mid-20s, and I didn't know that until years after I left. And I don't think most witnesses do. It's not something the society advertises. And I think that's intentional. And I think it's reasonable to assume that's intentional, because people might be more hesitant to get baptized if they understood all you have to do is disagree with something the society says. You may be baptized today agreeing with all of the major doctrines of the Watchtower, and next year new light may come out that you just can't accept. It just seems incorrect to you. Maybe in a private conversation you reveal to a congregation elder that you don't agree with this doctrine, and you can be disfellowshipped for that if you refuse to repent and accept the doctrine as true. I think if the witnesses were considered to be a business, and someone were disfellowshipped under those circumstances, and they took it to court, the court would invalidate the original contract, which was the baptism, and therefore the repercussions of supposedly going against that contract by disagreeing, and therefore the person couldn't be disfellowshipped. It would be unlawful to disfellowship them for not adhering to an unconscionable and fraudulent adhesion contract. Unfortunately, though, because Jehovah's Witnesses are a religion and not a business, at least not a business in that way, there's not much you can do. But anyway, it was an interesting video.